Some young people have decided to do this by creating publications in the online space. They face challenges, but they found success without ever working for a boss. I visited owners of 2 successful online publications. Skipani is street lingo in South Africa. That means what's happening. Bongampongose, Alifatana and Andile Matobela chose this as the name of their entertainment news website. They were in college in Pretoria and realized there wasn't a space that offered information on the party scene in South Africa's capital. The website's success has ensured that the 3 don't work for a boss after their studies. They say the more eyes they have on the site, the more advertisers are willing to come on board and the better the profits.
So far, so good. People are starting to identify the magazine as a platform to invest in because of the numbers that we have as a publication.
In Johannesburg, Katlego Manyapelo started Previda online magazine as a student in the University of Johannesburg. He graduated recently and his publication has seen him photograph and feature some of the country's biggest celebrities like Bonang Matheba, Lala Hirayama and Luthando Shosha. Previda fuses fashion, celebrity interviews and a critique of South African urban cultures. He says the web has helped him create a platform that didn't exist elsewhere.
People are now running online because they are not finding what they want on print. I love print.
South Africa still has broadband connectivity problems and a lot of our cities don't have adequate Wi-Fi access. So many people can't browse through online publications as they would with a hard copy like this one. But there are many initiatives that are improving internet access. The upside with running an online publication is that one doesn't need a massive space to work. Both Skipani and Previda are operated from home. While print publications aren't going away in South Africa, their sales haven't been great lately. Maybe as South Africa battles a high youth unemployment rate, more young people should think of utilizing online spaces to start businesses, and this doesn't have to be magazines as Matobela, Mpungose and Fatana have done with Skipani or as Manyapelo has done with Previda. Apple has been in crisis control mode the whole week. This is after a few celebrity iCloud accounts were hacked and their nude photographs stolen. These photos later appeared in social media. Recently, we've told you that we should back up our information in the cloud system. Tonight, we're asking how safe are cloud systems exactly?
A lot of people seem to use their private devices to take undesirable pictures, as we have found out with several Hollywood celebrities recently. One would hope these remain private on these devices. Some even delete these without showing them to anyone else. But with the backup systems like iCloud or Google Drive, a lot of these pictures are automatically stored on the cloud.
If you've used Facebook, if you use Google, then you're using a public service that's shared between hundreds of millions of people.
In the last week, we found that the backed up information can remain in the cloud even if deleted from the user's device. Dozens of overseas celebrities got the taste of this when their nude photos were leaked online. An anonymous hacker claimed to have accessed the Apple iCloud accounts of 100 celebrities. The question is, how does one trust the cloud storage and how safe is it exactly?
I think it's as safe as any other type of computing. You need to make sure that you apply appropriate security disciplines.
What Global Micro's JJ Milner means here is that you should have safe enough passwords for your devices and cloud servers so that it becomes difficult for anyone to get your information. There's a small chance that photos of people who aren't celebrities would be stolen and uploaded online. But with the increasing popularity of cloud servers, some companies share customers' and employees' details on the cloud. If their account servers were to be infiltrated, then those companies, their clients' and employees' privacy and safety would be compromised.
Cell phone giant MTN says it will not meet with the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration, or CCMA. The company says this is because trade unions and other consulting parties do not represent the majority of the employees impacted by its planned restructuring. Last week, we told you that MTN has issued more than 800 staff members with retrenchment notices.
847 managerial staff members have received retrenchment notices from mobile phone network operator MTN. It says the job cuts are to reduce costs. The company now says it's not going to meet with the CCMA as it does not recognize the trade unions. This is because trade union membership is too low at MTN in South Africa. In Nigeria, MTN has agreed to form a joint venture with the specialist tower company IHS. The giant will own and operate MTN's 9,151 transmitter towers. MTN says this move will cut costs and boost its call and data capacity in Africa's most populous nation, which is also its biggest market. The deal is expected to close on the fourth quarter, subject to regulatory approvals. The partnership is estimated at about 20 billion rands. Building and maintaining mobile communication towers in Africa is more expensive than any other region. This is because of the security costs, electricity shortage, while revenue per user is often lower.
The Independent Communications Authority of South Africa is now waiting on cell phone network operators to tell them whether they agree with the new proposed mobile termination rates. ICASA wants this amount to gradually fall to 8 cents a minute by March 2017. These are rates that bigger mobile phone network providers charge smaller ones when they piggyback off them. The regulator says these cuts will improve competition.
South Africa's telecoms regulator has lengthened the time frame for planning cuts to mobile connection fees. This comes after MTN and Vodacom challenged proposed reductions in court. Under the new rules, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, or ICASA, wants mobile termination rates to gradually fall to 8 cents per minute by March 2017.
We can't bring the rates down very quickly because we have to consider the impact on operators. Otherwise, we're not going to stimulate investment in infrastructure, which is not in the consumer's interest.
Previously, it proposed cutting the rates to 10 cents by 2016. The new rules want bigger cuts spaced over a longer period. The industry has until September 19th to comment on the new tariffs, after which ICASA will release the final regulations.
Depending on the comments we get, we'd have to consider them and decide on what our final rates are.
Now, companies charge rivals 20 cents a minute for calls on their own network. Vodacom and MTN have contested the cuts, saying they favor smaller players, Cell C and Telkom Mobile. While ICASA says MTR cuts will improve competition, big operators argue that they've invested most in networks and the reduced rates would unduly benefit smaller rivals.
One of the world's largest trade show for consumer electronics and appliances, IFA, took place in Berlin on Wednesday. This is where popular electronic brands unveiled their latest inventions. Some of the devices launched were Samsung Galaxy Ranger's Note 4, as well as the brand's highly improved wearable devices.
The leading consumer technology fair celebrates its 90th anniversary with some of the world's coolest gadgets and appliances yet.
It's the year of the 90th anniversary of IFA, and we are very proud that we can deliver the biggest, the largest IFA in their history. It means we will have 1,538 exhibitors from all around the world.
Samsung had consumers psyched with their newest Galaxy Note 4. The company also unveiled the enhanced version of this device called the Galaxy Note Edge. This handset can display notifications on the edge of the phone without disturbing any activities taking place on the main screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the next Galaxy Note.
Wearable gadgets were also a hit at this year's IFA, not leaving behind the trendy ultra-high-definition television sets that have taken the electronics market by storm.
There are many basic trends in the market. Of course, if you consider the trends in the TV market, it's UHD, the ultra-high-definition TV sets. Of course, it's the curved TV, brand new in the market.
The Consumer Electronics Show officially opened doors on Friday, September 5th, and will be closing them on the 10th.
And after the break, we'll discuss Standard Bank's technical glitch that took place a few days ago. Digital Voodoo's Seth Mbele is already in the studio. Stay with us.
Is a beautiful city of contradictions.
Funerals in Ghana are colorful and flamboyant. Ghana coffins are functional coffins made by specialized carpenters. These colorful objects, which have developed out of figurative palanquins, are not only coffins but considered real works of art. Each year, festivals and durbars are held in various parts of the country to celebrate the heritage of the people.
That's Kaleidoscope, Sundays 5:30 p.m. on SABC News.
Welcome back. It's SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. Now, in the last week, Standard Bank went offline. The 2-hour fiasco caused chaos among the users. The bank's operations like ATMs, points of sale, and the apps were not functional for the 2 hours it was offline.
Imagine you were at a petrol station trying to pay your bill and your card gets declined. Well, this was the reality for many Standard Bank clients on Monday. The bank experienced a system failure that affected points of sales devices, cash machines, and internet banking for almost 2 hours. Standard Bank's Funeka Munjani says the magnitude of this failure hasn't happened at the bank before.
It is a hardware issue at a very specific part of the bank that unfortunately affected the whole system.
On a normal day, Standard Bank processes about 400 to 500 transactions per second. But one has to wonder how secure the customer's data is. Last year, Target stores in the USA were infiltrated by cyber criminals. Millions of customers' information was stolen from their database. So are Standard Bank customers protected from this?
We know now what happened. We now need to understand why it happened to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
The question we're asking is, how can such a huge multinational financial institution not have protected hardware to ensure its customers have a great experience and feel that their details are safe?
And joining me in the studio to try and answer that question is Digital Voodoo's Seth Mbele. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network, Seth.
Thanks for having me.
So why did it happen?
Basically, the banking system for Standard Bank went down for reasons, hardware reasons. Basically, my sources say that it was something called a cascading system failure. And basically what that means is that part of the system goes down, and the relay or the backup system, which is supposed to kick in when that goes down, gets overwhelmed by the traffic that's diverted to it, and it also goes down. So if, for example, this was something that affected part of the system that was dealing with the Standard Bank app, for example, then the traffic would be diverted elsewhere towards ATMs, but then that would also go down.
FNB had similar problems. Was it the same problem?
You must draw a distinction between what happened with FNB and what happened with Standard Bank. What happened with FNB was basically what we call an execution error. So what happened with FNB is that certain people weren't able to receive their salaries on time. And also their debit orders weren't going off accordingly. They were either having double debits or some other issue. So in terms of FNB, it was an execution error, which they were able to pick up and reverse accordingly. And with Standard Bank, it was a more of a hardware issue.
Now, is the Standard Bank issue a cause for concern? Should we worry about this?
From a systems perspective, I think we shouldn't worry about this because most systems, they will fail no matter what you do, whether you're a Google, a Twitter, a bank, or even your own corporate servers. At some point, they will fail and they will go down, and there isn't much cause for concern.
Has something like this ever happened before?
In South Africa, not at this sort of scale, but things like this do happen. From a safety perspective, I think a lot of people were concerned whether their data is safe, but the type of failures we had weren't actually a corruption of the system or someone getting in and causing shenanigans. It was actually hardware or execution error.
In a case of hardware, it's interesting that you mentioned whether people were worried whether their data is safe. If it's hardware, is the data safe?
Well, the hardware failed. It wasn't that the hardware got corrupted or manipulated by an outside force. So the data itself is or it should be safe behind firewalls and certain other security systems.
And do you think that banks responded adequately, or the bank rather responded adequately on this?
In terms of both banks, I'd say the technical response was adequate in that Standard Bank got their systems back up and running within 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I think it was a similar situation with FNB. However, the cascading nature of the errors meant that the systems were out for longer. And I could fault both on the communication. They didn't communicate very well with their clients in terms of saying, this is what's happening, this is what we've done about it, and your data is safe or not safe accordingly.
But no one's losing money, and they have said that they're investigating. Well, Digital Voodoo, Seth Mbele, thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sure. Now, we often tell you about how incubators help technology innovators with skills of making their inventions thrive. After the break, we talk to someone who was helped by Microsoft South Africa's App Factory. SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. Stay with us.
Zoom into Africa. This is Gabon. The president is Mr. Ali Ben Bongo. Gabon got independent from France on August 17 in 1960. The population is over 1 million people. One of the major languages spoken is French. Monetary unit is CFA.
Welcome back. Now, we often tell you about how incubators help technology innovators with skills of making their inventions thrive. Mbondonda Mase is a recent graduate from Microsoft South Africa's App Factory program. The program has helped the 25-year-old work on the Fly SAA app, the official What's On app, Tourism Radio app, and the Lotto Results app. He joins us in the studio this evening. Hello, thank you for being a part of our network, Mpondo.
Thanks for having me here.
Now, you have a Bachelor of Technology in Information Technology. Why did you decide to then go and join the App Factory? You could have gone to work.
Yes. So Microsoft, as you know, is a very global company. And for me, it was a big opportunity when they came down to us and they said, we have this opportunity for graduates to get involved in developing mobile apps, which is something that excited me a lot when I was still at school. So when they came through and they told me that they had this wonderful opportunity for graduates to get involved with developing real-life apps that were actually going to be used by South Africans, I took the opportunity and I grasped it. And how has it helped me?
And do you think that incubators or programs like the App Factory actually do work?
Yes, I think I'm someone who's actually benefited a lot through the program. I had colleagues that were actually involved in the big business of Microsoft who were actually valuing our work at the App Factory. And we've been involved with the top clients of Microsoft, developing apps for them. And that has helped me a lot. Now I've just left the App Factory, and I can tell you that when I left the program, I had a lot of clients or companies who were actually approaching me saying, can we please have you come work for us? And I think that's a very big program in South Africa for the young developers that want to get out there and compete in the industry.
Would you please tell us what happens there? How different is it from what happens at university?
So, as I said, it's a real-life application, so software that is used by everyday people, so solutions that you normally have coming in from abroad. So our App Factory was mainly focused on delivering apps that were mainly focused on South African citizens, so apps that can be used by anyone in South Africa. So, varsity, you were taught all these necessary skills or the foundation of developing programs or applications. But then in the program, it was more of a real-life situation where you actually develop and you get involved and you interact with clients, not just sitting in your desk and developing applications, but also the relationships you build with the clients and also the potential business people that you would love to get involved with in the near futures.
Some of the favorite apps that you've worked on?
Of course, the Fly SA app is probably the most recognized and the big one. It's for Fly SA, the South African flights.
And when everyone is flying with that airline, they use it.
They do use it. It's very successful because we've looked at the ratings. Every time we publish an app, we go and check the feedback from the users. Users really love it. It's very appealing visually and also functionally. It's very useful for people who fly frequently and also for first-time flyers.
You recently graduated from the App Factory. What are you doing now?
So now I moved on to a company called Net1. I'm also involved there with mobile development. It's a very innovative company in the financial sector or the payment systems. So when I look at what they do and also the technicality and the deeper understanding they have for finance, which is one of my interests, I grabbed the opportunity, and when they wanted me to join them, I said, yes, I will join you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Mpondo Ndamase. Graduates of the App Factory, thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight.
Thanks, Moelele.
All right, sure. Now let's take a look at what some have been sharing in social media. Many in social media have been impressed by the new look Bafana Bafana under coach Sheikh Mashaba. They beat Sudan 3-0 in Khartoum on Friday. Bafana's next match is an African Cup of Nations qualifier against Nigeria on Wednesday. Journalists and other media practitioners are meeting at Highway Africa in Grahamstown. The social media theme sees many tweeting from there this year. And local and international musicians entertained crowds at the iHeart Joburg concert in Ellis Park yesterday. The day-long concert resulted in many sharing pictures from there. It seems like it was a massive party. That's all we have for you. Thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. We leave you with a video that's gone viral on YouTube. It's an Ebola patient running away from quarantine in Liberia. From me and the rest of the team, have a good one.
Good.